Morning ladies, and welcome to August's coffee and card. So this month we're working with the Stella birthday stamp set, and you'll also have received 2 alcohol blends and a wink of Stella. So now the alcohol blends, they have 2 tips, one that's like a felt tip and that has a narrow strip next to it, and then one which is a brush tip which has the wider strip next to it. Make sure when you finish with them that you've properly closed them because they do dry out. Now, hints and tips about the Wink of Stella. I have a new one here, and obviously you're going to have new ones in your kits. So when they come in beautifully wrapped in loads of plastic. There is a little black ring there. So what you need to do, I'm a bit loath to open this because then I'll start using it instead of the other one. Anyway, you unscrew it, take the black ring off, and then screw it back together again, and that activates the pen and opens the well of glitter paint. And so it'll tell you to push, and then you sort of squeeze here to get the glitter flowing into the brush. And then it'll be ready to use. I've got several people have tried to use it without taking out the black ring, and it doesn't work. There's also a ball in there so you can mix it as well. So you can see, take out that block, unscrew, take out the black ring, and then screw it back together, and it will work fine. Right, so this week's card, I've done something I've never done before. So I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but this girl is a long way off the card, and that is because she's on a spring. So it's a wobbly card, and she is animated. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. I just thought we'd give these a go. I thought it really suited this card. And I've given you a white piece of card to put in the middle. I've not written anything on because I think Reach for the Stars, it's quite a good look sort of sentiment. So you can write your own message. And I'll show you how to get the glitter on the planet like I've done there. So let's get started. The additional things you're going to need, as you can see, she's not grey. Bits of her are, but she's not grey overall. So what I've also used, I've used the black Memento ink that I know you've all got to do the actual stamping. And then I've used the in colour 2020 to 2022 markers. Now, we got these in the sunflower stamps with the sunflower coffee and card. So anybody who did that has already got all these, and these are the ones I've used on the cards today. Obviously, any colouring medium will do. You can just use the grey. On a couple of the cards, I have just used the greys. But if you want to add a little bit of colour, then pens, crayons, anything really. But these are the colours I've gone with, and I have used those today. Right, so if we just get the pack out, I'll just move everything slightly out of the way. We'll leave the card somewhere near so we can see what we're doing. Right, so I've got my pack. And you can just see at the top there, that's the spring, and it's self-adhesive. So I'll show you how to do that when we come to it. And I'm just going to put that somewhere safe. Let's hope I remember where it is. Right. So you've got a little bit of white paper to do your space person and rocket, a planet, and then a little label to do some stamping on. Your white for the inside, and then your bumblebee and some black and white designer series paper to stick on the front of the card, and then your grey base and your envelope. So I'm going to pop those all to one side because the first thing I'm going to do is add the sparkle to the planet. So this is quite a messy technique for me. You know, I don't like messy techniques very much. However, I've got a piece of paper here to cover the area, and just going to pop my planet in the middle there, and I'm going to take my Wink of Stella, undo it, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a normal pen, and I'm just going to bash my Wink of Stella on the pen. Okay, and then you get, I mean, you'll be able to see on here, you're getting little blobs of glitter on your planet. And if you just sort of move around, you'll get to see that they are actually coming on. And you have to sort of do it from different directions, so you've got them in different places. I'm going to try it maybe a bit steeper and see if I'm getting more on. Let's see. Not doing too well today. Let's just see if I hold it a bit nearer, because there does seem to be a lot just under where I'm bashing. Okay, so you just do that until you think you've got enough. There we go, it's really going now, so you really have to clout it. And as you can see, I'm also getting it everywhere, so that's why I put the paper down. So I then lift that up and you can see I've got little spots of glitter just on that moon, and I'm just going to now put it to one side to dry while I get on with the rest of the card. So just pop that away. So that's all we're using the Wink of Stella for this time. As you can see, I've got it everywhere over the paper. That looks gorgeous. Should probably have used a piece of card and I could use it as a background. Right, okay. So what we're going to do now is make our Spaceman. Now I've decided on this one, first of all, because I know you all know how to stamp and colour in. I've actually already done mine. So you do have a piece of paper, small piece of paper there for you to do your stamping on. And I've decided for my second card, I've actually used the little boy. So and I've coloured him in using, so I've used the Misty Moonlight, and I've used, this is the light grey for his gloves, and the darker grey I've used on the straps for his belt, his the soles of his shoes and his little earpieces, and then the pale grey for the band round his neck, his boots and the rest of his belt, and then a little bit of bumblebee for some hair there. So and then I've cut him out. Now you'll see on this one I tried to cut her out without the little white band, and I'm not happy with that because I couldn't quite get it right. So with this one I've been a bit looser about it. I've put the white band round the outside that you can see on there, and I've not gone into every finger, I've not gone into every little cleat on his boots, and I think actually I'm happier with this cutting out than I am with the other one. So you'll all have your preferred way of cutting out. It's just a shame there's no dies with this set, but you can't have everything. So, and I've also stamped and coloured in his little rocket as well. So I've made his little rocket pink this time. That's the Magenta Madness. That's the pale grey, surrounded by the darker grey. I've put the darker grey here and the lighter grey there. So, and with this flame I did the Magenta Madness and the Bumblebee, whereas this one I've just done the Bumblebee. So I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to cut this out for you now. So when she finds the scissors, there they are. Just wondering if we're bright enough. We've been having some thunderstorms today. Actually that looks okay, so I'll carry on as we are doing. So I'll just pop that out of the way so we don't have the shadow. So when I'm cutting out, I always start with the scissors slightly angled. I think I saw somebody saying it's about 15 degrees. But I just use it slightly angled away from what I'm cutting. Come in and aim to be just a little bit out from what you're cutting out. And just leaving a nice white area. See, and you can always correct if you've gone too wide, but it's harder if you've gone too close. And then I tend to move probably the paper more than I move the scissors. Okay, so just going to cut round that fin. I'm just going to go a bit further in and then come round the body of the rocket. And as I say, I am not going into every detail. You can if you want. Some people are so good. I actually saw, when I was researching these cards, somebody had fussy cut out the dog stamp, including the string. They'd actually fussy cut the string out, and it looked amazing, but I just know that's beyond me. As yet, you do get better with practice. I used to be appalling at this, whereas now I'm just okay. So yeah, went a bit close there. Okay, so if you feel this is getting in the way, chop it off. Okay, I'm just going to go around the rocket, back down the fin, and then sort of across and up a bit. There we go. And as I say, just twisting the paper rather than your scissors. And try and use the whole blade of the scissors. Ooh, a little bit close there. And then I'll just finish off there where I came in aiming. So there we go. So this time, as I say, I've cut it a bit looser. Just thinking, I think, just going to take these bits out here. So I'm just going round. So, and then up, and then down, and then round. There we go. So we've actually got the flame properly. So let's get rid of all those bits. Okay. So, and now I'm just going to stamp my sentiment on my little tab there. So, just put those away, and I'm going to get Reach for the Stars again. And line it up on my block. I'll actually line it up on this block, that's more sensible. Okay, so it's nice and straight, and have your banner nice and straight. Make sure your stars are at the bottom, and then I'm just going to bring it a little bit nearer so I can see what I can't see what I'm doing anyway. I'm just going to stand up. There we go. Reach for the stars. Just wipe that off. So now we're going to build the card. So what I did first of all was actually put everything together. So I glue this onto here. Seems a shame to put glue on this, doesn't it? This is from the Hostess paper package, which is massive. You get double the quantity you would normally get. At least double the quantity you would normally get in a pack of DSP, and it costs £17, but you can't buy it unless you've placed a £150 order. But so you can use your Hostess points to buy it once you reach 150, or your reward points. And so if you've only spent 150, it will cost you £2. If you spent 170, it will be completely free. And it's well worth it. I mean, I've barely touched it and used it in 3 different classes now. So there is loads, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So now my moon will have, my glittery planet will have dried now. So I'm deciding where I'm going to pop that. And oh, I haven't stuck it on the card. Bet you're all shouting, aren't you? Stick it on the card, Linda. Glue. So just going to stick this on the front and then roughly arrange where I want everything before I start gluing things on. So just sticking that nice liquid glue so you've got a bit of wriggle room. Check you're happy with it before you start really pressing it down. Even after you've pressed it down, you can sort of peel it off and do it again, but it's best getting it sorted before you press it down. Okay, and now we'll rearrange everything that we want. So I want quite the light bit of the planet up there, and then we're going to put our rocket, which has flown off without her, as my daughter pointed out yesterday. I'll reach for the stars, and then our little man is probably going to go about there. So I'm going to stick the reach for the stars on first. So, a little bit of glue, and I just lined it up to the edge of the designer series paper. There we go, so it's like a flag coming in off the edge there. And then I'm going to get some dimensionals and stick on our rocket, she says. Don't need little ones, there's little ones done. We are using little ones, can't find the big ones. Not sure if it's starting to get a bit darker again. I think they've forecast loads of thunder today. Oh yes, it's rumbling again. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with the filming. So I'm just going to take these off. And then pop my rocket on. So I'm going to have my rocket going sort of over there somewhere. So, and then I'm going to stick my planet on with wet glue. Unfortunately, this paper has retired, but I just love that colour. And I just thought it just looked like a planet, sort of, you know. There we go. I'm just going to move my light over because it is getting darker. I don't know whether that's thunder or the people fixing the drive down the way. There we go. So everything's on now apart from our astronaut, and we've kept this somewhere safe. So I'm not 100% because I've not used these before, but what I did was I actually stuck the astronaut on the bigger area and the smaller area on the card, because that sort of felt, don't know what feels the right way up, to be honest. It's a learning curve. If anybody knows which way you're supposed to do it, please let me know. And now I'm just going to get my pokey tool just to poke this off, because it is quite, she says, or maybe not. Ugh. I know this does definitely peel off because it's the second one I've done. There we go. So you just need to catch the edge. Okay, so that's the first piece. I'm just wondering if this piece should actually go on the card because it's clear, although I think the other piece might be as well. Anyway, it's all learning, isn't it? Right, okay, so we've got a bobbly bit, which I'm going to stick now on this girl. I don't know if you can tell, but I've just stuck it just where her mouth is and it looks a bit odd. So I'm going to stick it a bit further down, so it's sort of centred on his body more, and squeeze it on, and then pop the sticky off the underside, which again is proving, oh there we go, that was easier. Yeah, you see, so this is white, so it may actually be supposed to be the other way around. Who knows? Okay, so there we go. Pressed him down, and he's, yeah, still his face is looking, but then he's wobbling more sort of lower down, so it doesn't look quite so weird. But I'm happier with the cutting out on that one than this one, so I think I wasn't keen on that, but I do like the way that's come out. And then all we need to do is stick our inside on that I've left on a black ink pad, so I'll do that later. Don't leave your ink pads open. Okay, so that's today's card. How cute is that? I hope you've enjoyed, and I shall see you next week for more glittery space adventures. Take care. Bye.